Good day, this is Janelle and Cruz from BIT4A FSM, and today we will be discussing the continuation of the chapter 6 entitled with Philippine National Building Code. But today specifically we'll be on discussing the sizes and dimension, ceiling heights, and lastly airspace requirements and sizes of rooms for human habitation. So first, let's just define the sizes and dimension. So size is it is the dimension or magnitude of a thing, or it is how big something it is. While the dimension, it is a measure of spatial extent in a particular direction, such as height, width, or breadth, or depth. So under the sizes and dimensions, so minimum sizes of courts and yards and their least dimensions shall be governed by the used type of construction and height of the building as provided here under provided the minimum horizontal dimension of said courts and yards shall not be less than 2 meters, and all inner courts shall be connected to a street or yards, either by a passageway with a minimum width of 1.20 meters, by a door through a room or rooms. The required open space shall be located totally or distributed anywhere within the lot in such a manner as to provide maximum light and ventilation into the building as well. So these are the figures that will shows the different setbacks of a building. So this is a setback located in front and at the back of the commercial building. In this sample of a setback, it can also be used in household buildings for alternative locations, which we can see on the letter B, and it can be used as a back parking for the commercial building. Next illustration, this is the setback that is interconnected. So the natural air for ventilation will always be from open space located in front of the building. Third illustration, so setback is located in front of the commercial building and at the back. So in this sample setback, both front and back has the open space. And lastly, this illustration will shows that the setback is located inside the commercial building itself, providing ventilation only to where it is located. So this is usually made to give style on the building. So there is a one of example mall that we can see this kind of setback. So as we can see on this picture, that is an example of this setback that the setback is inside of a commercial building. So setbacks for commercial, industrial, institutional, and recreational buildings. So these are the sizes. So for the road right of way within meters, so if it has a 30 meters and above, the front should have 8 meters, the side and rear should have 5 meters. However, if it is below 10 meters for road right of way, the front should have 5 meter, the side should have 2, as well as with the rear should have 2 meters. Okay, next is the sizes and dimensions of courts. So every court shall have a width of not less than 2 meters for 1 or 2-story buildings. However, if the court is treated as a yard or vice versa, this may be reduced to not less than 1.5 or 50 meters in cluster units. As we can see on this illustration below, so for buildings of more than 2 stories in height, the minimum width of the rear or the side court shall be increased at the rate of 300 millimeter for each additional story up to 14th story. Okay, next topic is the ceiling height. So all habitable rooms provided with artificial ventilation shall have ceiling heights not less than 2.40 meters from the ceiling. So in ceiling heights for more than 1 story, so for the first story, it should be have the minimum of 2.70 meters as it explained on this pictures on the side. The ceiling height should be 2.7 meters or 70 meters, and for the second story, it should have a minimum of 2.40 meters. And third, for succeeding stories, unobstructed headroom clearance of not less than 2.10 meters. And also for mezzanine floors, shall have a clear ceiling height no less than 1.80 meters above and below it. So that mezzanine floors is explained as on this picture. So mezzanine means that is on the second floor, as we can see on this arrow. It should have the height of 1.8 meters, where there is not enough space to achieve 2-meter headroom. Reduced headroom, as shown, will be satisfactory. On regards to the sizes and dimensions of a room, so the minimum sizes of rooms and their least horizontal dimension shall be as follow. So the first one is rooms for human habitation. So this is the minimum size and least horizontal dimension of habitable room. So it should have the 6 square meters, which with the least dimension of 2 meters. And next, for a kitchen room or for a kitchen space, so it should have a 3 square meters with a least dimension of 1.5 meters. And thirdly, for toilet and bath, 1.20 square meters with at least dimensions of 900 millimeters. And let's just now discuss the airspace requirements in determining the sizes of the rooms. So under of it, the minimum airspace shall be provided as this follow. So the first one is the school room. So in the school room, it should have 300 cubic meter with 1 square meter of a floor area per person. This picture, that is the example size to have an airspace in a school room. Okay, as we can see on this picture, so in a workshops, factories, and offices, the sizes or dimension should have 12 cubic meters of airspace per person. Thirdly, for uninhabitable rooms, so for uninhabitable rooms, it should have a 14 cubic meter of airspace per person. So that is the required airspace for all rooms that as for all rooms that we discussed. And that's all for today, and thank you for listening.